근데 그걸 지금 누르시면 바로 들어갈 수 있어요.
시간이 8시가 됐네요.
예.
완전 했어요.
사실은 제가 그 활동에서 미리 어떤 얘기를 해줬으면 좋겠냐고 물어보셨어요. 질문을 3가지를 좀 미리 달라고 했어요. 오늘 아침 어제 드렸어요. 질문에 대한 얘기를 해주실 것 같은데 이거 각각 반쪽인데 보면서
연결됩니까?
네, 대표님. 아, 네, 지금.
그리고 일반 우리 불교 TV나 불교 방송에서도 시도하기 어려운, 그렇죠? 지금 뉴욕에 있는 분, LA에 있는 분, 직접 그에 계신 분이 강의를 하고 한국에서 우리가 듣고, 이거 어마어마한 일이에요, 사실은. 동시에 지금 저희들이 한미 불교 특강을 실시간으로 시도하는 상황입니다.
Hello?
어,
Yes, I'm here.
여러분 여기에 활성심에 대한 소개는요.
Yeah. Thank you.
영어 원문으로 엄청나게 소개를 잘 해놨어요. 12페이지 보시면 활성심은 현재 지금 82세 보신 것 같아요. 저도 여기 이렇게 상세하게 써진 거를 아까 언뜻 봤는데 그냥 상세하게 몰랐던 부분들이 굉장히 많이 나와 있어요. 우리 스님들도 나중에 필요하신 대로 보시고, 디트로이트라는 동네를 내가 직접 가봤더니 시카고 옆에더라고요. 시카고 옆에. 근데 자동차 3사가 우리가 얘기하는 GM, 포드 뭐 이런 3사가 있는 동네예요. 그래가지고 미국 자동차가 잘 나갈 때는 어마어마하게 좋은 동네였는데 일본 차가 30년, 40년 전부터 미국을 상륙을 하고 20년 전부터 한국 차도 상륙하고 유럽 차, 독일 차가 들어오면서 미국 차들이
Hello?
도시가 완전 폐허가 되고. 오.
Hello.
Hello, can we do a sound check?
Yes. 와우, 명주 스님. Hello, how are you?
Oh, Janvam Sunam, I didn't know that you were there today. Wonderful, thank you. How is the sound? Sound is okay?
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, so now I shall I bring out the Hwalsan Sunim now? Is okay?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you. 1 second.
우리 명주 스님이 활선 스님의
Sunim, we're ready for you.
제자를
Janvam Sunim is there. Oh, that's really great. You're doing inside. Yeah.
서서 주로
인사드리겠습니다. 두 번째 강의 시작하겠습니다. 올해가 미주 한국불교 포교 50주년이 되는 기념회인데요. 그 특별 강의로 서양에서의 선에 대해서 활선 스님께서 강의해 주십니다. 활선 스님께서는 1900
Where's Janvam Sunam? He's on the right hand side. I can move the screen.
미국에서 사모스님 친견 후 불교에 입문하시고 1982년 수덕사 원단 스님을 인사로 출가를 하셨습니다.
Well, there's older people there. Yeah.
선센터를 창건하시고 선원장 스님으로 소개받고 계십니다. 활선 스님을 박수로 맞이해주시기 바랍니다.
What's the clapping for? Yes, so I think the audio, it's very difficult to hear the room. Is it possible to turn up the volume?
그 이제 태우가 얘기했던 해봐.
Hello, 스님, can you hear me?
A little bit, not very much.
Not very much. We'll try to turn the volume up a little bit.
Yeah.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Not really, no.
우리는 잘 들리니까. We can hear you well, so please begin, and we will try to fix the problem from here.
Okay, that sounds good. You can hear that?
We can hear you very well. 명주 스님,
Okay,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, we can hear you very well. So
Okay, good.
I think it's good now. Person can give a speech now.
Okay, that sounds good. And then later we can see about the audio. Okay, thank you. So Hwalsan Sunim asked me to start by saying thank you for organizing this. He told me to tell you that he feels a little uncomfortable to give a Dharma talk because
you don't know the middle.
yeah, he doesn't know you and because of the distance, but he's very happy to try to share his mind with you.
Who's going to translate?
This gentleman here in the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yeah, they can hear you really well. But
Let
let
the
him translate what
translator.
I just said. Okay, you can translate what I said. Yep.
Okay, I'll begin now. 활선 스님이 오늘 이렇게 준비해 주신 거 굉장히 고맙다고 하시고요. 지금
잘 모르기 때문에 대중들이 잘 모르고 그렇기 때문에 지금 업무를 하시는데 조금 편하지는 않으시지만 그래도 좀 시작해 보시길 바랍니다.
말하시는 거 요점 하나하나만.
So I'm going to put my hand up when it's time for you to stop talking, because I can tell when he's done translating. You cannot.
No.
Okay, and he'd like to start by starting with the questions that were sent, and then
Is that all right?
yeah, I'm going to repeat the question, and then Hwalsan Sunim will talk about that. So Hwalsan Sunim, the first question, it says here that it's very difficult for lay people to give themselves completely to spiritual life. How was it possible for you to demand of your students when you came to America to give their full effort in life to the spiritual way? Did your students accept that practice?
Hmm.
Can we translate the question first?
I'll translate.
He's translating now.
첫 번째 일단 질문을 교수님이 보내주신 걸 통해서 그 질문들 먼저 답하시는데 첫 번째 질문은 현재 제가 자는 학생들이
Okay.
100% 수행하는 거에 집중하는 게 힘든데 어떻게 그걸 가능하시고 그리고 그 제가자들이 선언해서 수행하는 데 어떻게 도와주셨고 그분들이 그걸 어떻게 받아들였는지 그게 이제 첫 번째 질문이고 이제 그걸 말씀하시면 이제
I
그거
wish I could hear it. It's all Korean.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been at this Zen Center now for the last 32 years.
지금 현재 36년 동안 선본에서 생활하셨습니다.
And I was told by my master, Wandam Sunam,
원담 스님이
and when I asked him, what should I teach students?
학생들에게 무엇을
And he said, just trust your Zen.
Okay.
자신의 수행을 믿으라고 말씀하셨습니다.
So when I came back, I started living, you could call it a lay monastic life. I was living in America now, my home.
돌아왔을 때 그냥 일반 제가자와 비슷하게 생활했는데 다시 이제 미국으로 돌아오셨을 때
And I invited people. You have to realize that at this time there was no internet, no cell phones. It was 1990.
1990년도에
And up to that time in my life, I'd only done training since approximately 1973. So you could say that I knew how to do training.
1973년에 수행 시작해서 90년대 들어왔을 때
Again, I can't know when to start.
이미 이제 수행을 하는 법을 체득을 하셨다고 했습니다.
But when students came, I shared my life with them.
세계에 돌아왔을 때 같이 생활을 나눴습니다. 생활.
And I told them that we're pioneers in the West.
그 제자들에게 말씀하셨을 때 이제 개척자라고 서양.
And I told them that if we're going to bring Zen to the West, we have to make a sincere effort to lead what I refer to as a whole or complete life.
진정을 다해서 온전하게 생활하는.
And that realization only comes when you completely disappear into the effort that you are making.
하나는 이제 온전히 집중해서 자신이 사라지는 느낌입니다.
그때 깨달음은 옵니다.
Okay.
I remember when my Ansa Sunam was talking to me, and the first time I heard this, he said, the effort you make is already the benefit. Usually, in the West, people do things to make money, to get girlfriends and boyfriends, always to get something. And I tried to share with them that it's about giving yourself to whatever you're doing. And that at the same time, we will begin to practice meditation together.
May I, Sunam? May I say something to clarify that?
Do you think so?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Paulson Sunam is saying that in America, the mentality, everybody does something, they make an effort in order to get something. But in Zen, from his Unsa Sunam, he learned that we do not give in order to get something. We give only to give. The effort is already the fruit of the benefit. So that's the most difficult thing for him to teach to the Western mind.
원사님께서 말씀하셨는데 서양에서는 언제나 무엇이고
Can't hear it all, so you got to tell me. I'm not.
선에서는 그 노력하는 행위 자체, 그 자체가 열매이기 때문에 그것을 전달하는 게 노력을 하신다.
근데 미국 애들한테는 이게 받아들여지기 어려워요. 뭔가 얻으려고 하는데 우리는 오직 할 뿐만큼은 외워야 됩니다.
Okay,
It's dana paramita.
Dana Paramita.
So it focuses on making a complete effort to do something with all your might, body and mind. This is preparation for meditation. Because if you practice meditation with the idea to get something, to get awakened, you're just, we say in the West, you're just doing business. You're doing a business transaction. You're giving to get something.
서양에서는 뭔가를 얻기 위해서 항상
Is he talking? I
주고받는
can't hear a word, so you got to call me in.
그것을 그것을 기본이라고 생각합니다.
I think there's something I have to make perfectly clear. In the West, people don't know about Zen or very little about Buddhism 30 years ago.
확실히 말하면 30년 전에
So what it mean?
Go ahead.
서양에서
So what it? I don't know who you're telling to go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, translator. That's fine.
서양에서는 확실히 30년 전에는 불교에 대해서 많은 것들이
Okay. Sunam.
So none of us were in Korea when Buddhism first came to Korea. And there may have been some temples, but a lot of the temples that have been created over the last 700 or 800 years were first done by monks working every day of their lives to support themselves. They cooked their own food. Oftentimes they grew their own food. They renovated their buildings. They built some of those buildings. This was the landscape that I came to. None of that existed. In Korea, you have an infrastructure. You were born into it. We were not.
한국에서는 저희들이 이제 700년, 800년 전에 스님들이 생활하기 위해서 생활을 하시면서 자연스럽게 기초 생활 관련 기반들이 다져졌지만 서양에서는 그게 없었어요.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to clarify something. So Halsan Sunim is saying that coming to America for him 30 years ago was maybe similar to the early time of Zen coming to Korea. At that time, 700 or 800 years ago, the Korean Zen was early, so it was very important for the monk to build their temple, make their clothes, grow their own food. Everything was in the early years, the monk have to support themselves. There is no infrastructure. And so he's comparing America is like that now. It's a blank slate.
아까 말씀하신 700년, 800년 중에 지금 현재 한산스님이 하고 계신 지금 만들어지고 있는 게 그때와 같다고. 그때 절을 짓고 음식을 키우고 옷을 만들고 이런 행위들이 지금 서양에서
불교가 전해질 때 똑같은 상황을 거의 미국에서 지금 개척자였고.
Okay,
So just briefly, when I met my Unsa Sunam in 1973, he told me that I had to learn a skill to make a living with my hands. In other words, manual labor.
Okay. So in 1973, Halsan Sunam's Unsa, when they met, he asked to study Zen and become a monk. But his Unsa said, yeah, you have to work with your hands. You have to get a job and work with your hands, manual work. And so that's, at that time, Halsan Sunam was a professor, but he quit his job as a professor in order to become a carpenter.
1970년에는 부사신을 만나서 스님
He's going to translate.
되고 싶어서
You said exactly what I said.
사실
I don't think that makes sense to keep
오늘
repeating what I say.
노동을 해서
기술을 배워라.
그때 한사스님께서는 교수를 그만두고 목소리를 시작했어요.
그때 첫 은사는 사무스님을 3년대 처음 불교 스승을 만난 분은 사무스님. 사무스님 right? 영주스님?
I'm sorry, I can't hear very well.
He's asking with 한사스님 1973 was 사무스님.
사무스님.
Right. Okay. They were asking if that was Sam Usunan, and you said yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The important part of that is just that I learned how to be a carpenter during my training. And so for 10 years, I worked as a carpenter, practicing with my teacher in the morning and the evening. And I supported the temple by giving them the money that I earned, which is what monks always had to do. They lived communally. And so we were early on attempting to do that. So now it's 17 years later, and I'm in Detroit. So I relied on the same thing. When the students came, and they did, in 1990, I had a half a dozen students come and live with me. Myungju Sunam on my left was one of those students over 25 years ago that came. And we did everything that we could to earn money. We delivered newspapers. As we got skillful, we did certain kinds of jobs like carpentry or building. But the point is, we had to support ourselves.
Okay.
카페터 목수일을 10년 정도 하시는데 아침 저녁으로 수행을 하시고 목수일 하시면서 버신 경우도 같이 공동 생활을 하면서 그거랑 똑같이 이제 10년 동안 디트로이트에서 생활하셨고
Yes.
하셨고
Wait.
그게 아니고요. 73년도에 한
출가구나.
출가하시고, 출가하시고 아침 저녁으로 수행하고 낮에 열심히 해서 돈 번 거를 다 절에다가 보시하시고 17년이 지나서 또 공부하시고 90년도에 들어갔을 때 제자들이 생겼는데 12명이나 6명의 제자가 생겼는데 그 제자들한테 똑같이 그렇게 살게 되고 아침 저녁에는 공부하고 낮에 일해서 그 돈을 다 불사하는 데 쓰겠고 그 6명 중에 한 분이 연주 선생님이시고 벌써 25년 전 이야기.
Okay, so
I refer to that as it's Dana Paramita. I called it honest virtue. We're learning in that practice how to give ourselves again to whatever it is we're doing, and we're learning something at the same time, and we're building something at the same time.
우주선 교수라고 하시고 정직하기 위해서 정직하게 생활하고
동시에 배우고 항상 배우는 마음을 가지고 계속 뭐하는 만들고.
can I say something?
What?
Do you want to have the second question now?
No.
Okay. Please don't go ahead, Sam.
So for 25 years, students were coming and I was living together with them. And we ended up in that process over that period of time, building this very Zen center that I'm sitting in right now and that you're looking at me. It was done with our own hands. We have an ownable floor. You can see the shoji screens. I tried to make it like the places I trained in Korea.
스튜던트는 제자들이 있고 그리고 같이 생활하면서 그런 거 많으셨고 오히려
25년 동안 지금 그거 한 걸 25년 동안 해갖고 드디어 결국 이 선언이 만들어졌고 한국 스타일로 온돌로 까시고 이렇게 해서 이제 직접 나오셨다. 진짜 그 한국 선판.
네, 본인이 생활하시던 것이랑 비슷하게 만들어요.
박수.
They're saying congratulations
Or what?
for making the Zen Center.
Oh,
Looks very good.
Looks very good.
oh. It's, yeah. So try to picture that. A group of people, anywhere from 6 to 10, living in the same place, just like monks in Korea. And I referred to this, and still do, as lay monastic practice. They're not monks, but they're not just lay people. There's something.
상상해 보셔야 6명에서 10명 정도의 제자 스님은 아니지만 제가들 스님과 제가저 사이에서 스님처럼 생활하는 생활을 했다고 하죠. Yes.
So that's the setting. Now I'm going to try to tell you how I was teaching them Zen, which they seem to appreciate and do very well. So we made a schedule, morning and evening sitting. Every 3 months, Yongmeng Junction. Only time we didn't work, Yongmeng Junction. The rest of the time, only sitting in the morning, sitting in the evening.
So Hwasan Sunim invited the students, early students, to live with him. And then they followed the schedule. We all stayed together in the Zen Center, sitting morning and evening, and then during the day working. So all together. And then every 3 months, the retreat time, 7 days retreat. And this is how he grew the community like that. And people come and go. Many students came and left, and then new ones came. American people have a hard time to stay for a long time. So coming and going, many students. Okay, so it's going to translate what you said.
제자들과 학교
Please
생활을
translate.
예.
아침과 저녁에 수행을 하시고 낮에는 이용하면서 생활하고 3개월마다 7일 동안 연맹 또 이제 미국인들이 왔다 갔다 이 생활에 적응하지 못하는 시거나 새로운 제자들이 와서 생활하고 이렇게 오고 가면서 사람들이 많이 제자들이 많이 생활하고 있어요. 그래서는
Okay.
And what I wanted to make sure of with the students that came, they were only there because 100% they chose to be there. In other words, their heart was there. Because American people, when they do something over a period of time, it starts to become an obligation. They stop, in other words, stop doing it with their full heart.
이제 100% 마음을 내서 해야 되는데 미국인들은 뭔가 지속된 시간 동안 뭔가 하기는 의무로 받아들이기 때문에 그 순간부터 의무가 되면 거부감이 들어서 그만두고 떠나는 것을 그렇습니다.
Now, maybe a very important point I'd like to make now, and this is especially critical for the Western students. The first realization that you must have to practice Zen properly. And that comes when you practice Chamsan. Because you see your mind when you're sitting. And most Americans think that they're their thoughts and their memories and their feelings. So the first realization is when you sit in meditation and you're able to see your thoughts, your memories, and your feelings, that you can't be your thoughts because you can see them. You're the awareness that sees them.
서양인들이 가장 중요한 점은 일단 참선을 할 때 앉아서 제 생각과 감정을 기억과 감정을 보면서 그거를 바라보는 자. Can you clarify the last bit, please?
They wanted to be clarified. Yeah. Can you say that again?
Could you clarify the last part, please?
Sure. Yeah. So
Ask me.
he's asking if you can clarify the last part.
Okay. All of you have been sitting in meditation. And while you're sitting, what happens?
Okay, stop there.
앉아있을 때 어떤 일이
I can't understand. Lawson Sinam is saying that he's asking, when you sit in meditation, what happens?
이제 앉아있을 때 어떤 일이 영상하고 있어요.
Can I go on?
And he said the first realization, the first understanding that a Zen student must have is that we are not our thoughts and our feelings and our memories. That's the first understanding we have to have before we can go forward, is to see our thoughts and feelings and recognize that we are the awareness that sees the thoughts and feelings. We are not the thoughts and feelings and memories. But he said American people don't have this philosophy, don't have this idea. American people believe that they are their thoughts and their feelings and their memories. That's what he said.
이제 앉아서 명상할 때 자신의 기억이나 감정, 자기가 그 감정이라고 거기서 떨어져서 그 감정과 기억을 바라보는 누구들은 그 관점을 이해하지 못하고 그 점을 그냥 혼자 그게 이제 첫 번째로 참선을 이해하고
생각, 기억 이런 다 내가 아니고 그거를 보는 자가 나. 참나. 그걸 먼저 깨달아야 돼. 번째. 그걸 깨달아야 돼.
케이스님
Go ahead, Simon.
So one of the things that I learned from Songdam Sunam I asked him on my visits back to Korea, how do I teach meditation to the wild ones in the West?
홍감수님을 만났을 때 첫 번째로 하는 질문은 어떻게 명상을 사람들한테 와야지. 교수님.
And he told me the same thing my Ansa Sunam had said. Start them with the breath.
교수님.
Yeah, like I'm going to do it out loud. Breathing in, hana. Two, se, ne, tasu. And then if you get to tasut, you simply go back to hana. And you learn to give yourself to your breath.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯 하고 다시 하나로 돌아와서 숨으로 되돌아오는 방법을 가르쳤고.
So as you do this, at the same time, thoughts are coming. They appear seemingly out of nowhere. They go through their transformation and they disappear.
생각이 오고 가고 생각이 변화하고 다시 사라지고.
Okay.
And then the realization that I'm not my thoughts is first. And the reason I'm not my thoughts is that they're changing, they're impermanent. Just like everything else that I can experience through my five senses in my mind, everything changes.
그 생각이 모든 것과 같이 이상하다는 것을 이제 오감으로 느끼는 것이다.
Okay.
Bodhidharma said that sun is Tao, Tao is sun. So what's happening when you're sitting in meditation? You discover everything is impermanent through your own direct experience, and that it's unfolding just like everything else in the great cosmos.
앉아서 무슨 일이야? 직접적인 경험을 통해서
I think you should.
나타나고
So you have to wait.
우주에 일어나는 모든 것과 같이 우리가 닮았는 사람. 손?
Sun is down. Sun is down. 이게 뭔 뜻이야?
그 부분 물어봐 다시.
뭐?
스님, what do you mean by sun is the sun?
Please repeat your question. I cannot hear you very well.
I didn't understand what you meant by sun is do and do is sun.
Okay, so he said the Bodhidharma,
Dharma, I think they call it.
Dharma, Bodhidharma,
우리 닮아가.
the old Chinese teacher, Dharma
Came from
from
India.
India. Yeah, Paul Sansanim is saying that he said, sun is Tao. Tao is sun. You know Tao, T-A-O, Chunan Sunim, Tao.
예.
Yeah,
Sun is Zen.
Do.
길.
Sun.
The way, Do,
네.
Tao.
Tao. Sun is Tao.
Sun is Tao, Tao is sun.
Tao is sun.
Sun,
Zen,
Zen.
yeah, sun. So he's saying that was a expression from Dharma. It's very complicated for one son, I think.
Okay, yeah.
So he's saying that Bodhidharma, Dharma, was teaching the very simple way.
선이 젠을 의미하는 거예요. 선이 썰을 얘기하는 거예요. 햇빛을 얘기하는 거예요.
네.
네.
우리나라는 아주 심플하게 가르치죠.
선이 젠을 의미하는 거예요. 선이라고 하는데. 네. 뭐라고 했어요? 내가 때?
It's called, I think for the translation, it's the way of things. Things appear and then things disappear. Everything appears and then
Goes
everything
through its transformation. and disappears.
It's a-
All may be regenerated and come back.
everything is a transformation. Yeah,
그냥 변화할 때가 나타나.
right.
Okay, 스님, yeah.
Yeah, and so he was saying that the Dharma teaching is that Sun practice, Zen practice, is to see that everything is arise, everything appear, everything disappear.
You
So
have
that's
to
the
say
Tao.
transforms and then disappears.
Trans-
There's four things happening. I'm talking to you now. Thoughts appear, they go through a transformation, they disappear to be regenerated and come back.
So he's saying, Hassan is saying that our thoughts appear, and then they go through some process of transforming, and then they disappear, and then regeneration. This is the process of everything happening, our thoughts, but also everything in this world. So he said that's the sun practice, is to see that process unfolding. Everything appear, transform, disappear, appear, transform, disappear, over and over. So he's saying that is the Tao and sun are together,
Same.
same.
그 생각이 나타났다가 변화하고 다시 사라지고 이게 반복되고 이제 생각뿐만이 아니고 이제 모든 것들이 다시 나타났다 사라지고 이게 반복된다. 그래서 그 성질을
Do you want to do the second question now, Suna?
No, just please.
Okay, you're good.
So what I'm saying to you is this, I think all human beings, but certainly Westerners, we have a sense of alienation. There's been a rupture between ourselves and everything else. We feel alone and separate because we don't understand the way the world unfolds. Things come into existence. They go through a certain amount of evolution and they disappear. We call that impermanence.
네. 네.
쉬운 주제로다.
이제 네.
Okay,
이겼고.
thank you, Sneem. And can we please go to the second question?
I cannot hear, we cannot hear you, sorry.
Thank you, Sneem. Can we now go to the second question? Can you hear me, Sneem, now?
Oh, yes, a little bit. Second question?
Yes.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, second question, please.
Oh, are you going to ask me?
What do you think was the most
그거였어요.
important factor for the growth of the center? Which area did you put your effort the most?
처음에 그 울렸다고 이따까지 딱 좋았는데 이제 이론으로 들어갔어요.
What do you think was the most important factor for the growth of the Zen Center? And which area did you put your effort the most?
그 대답하신. 두 번째 질문이 대답 다 되셨으니까 세 번째 질문. 두 번째 질문 대답 다 하셨어요.
Yeah, I think you've already answered the second question through the first question. So if you'd like to, you can move on to the third question.
Okay, third question is, can you please tell us about the virtue of the Zen masters that you have met, like Pyeokcho, Ilta, Wondam, Songdam, Kunsuns?
네, 질문이
네, 지금 만났던 선생님들 덕초,
한국에
일타,
오셨어요.
선생님들 말씀해 주세요.
그분들의 어떤 동목으로 영향을 인프레스 했는지.
교수님.
I would say that they all appeared to be quite humble, self-effacing, sincere, and very comfortable right where they are.
모두들 다 되게 겸손하셨고, 진실하셨고, 모든 분들이 다
편안하셨고.
교수님.
Go ahead.
It's almost as if their presence is magnetic.
끌어당기는 힘이 있으시죠.
현재를 살아가는 그런 다섯 가지 끌어다니는 힘이 있어요. 현재를 사는.
교수님.
And it pulls you in. And they're clearly not trying to get anything from you, but they're willing to share this wonderful thing we call sun.
끌어당기는 힘이 있으셨고, 그냥 나누시려고만 하셨고. Yes. Okay.
Even though they all appear differently from the outside, like all of us, But you can just feel in the inside is completely at ease. And you just can imagine that kind of ease, that in every situation, you're completely at ease, no matter what you're doing. Quite moving.
겉은 뭐 일반 사람들이랑 같아 보이지만 속은 굉장히 편안할 수도 있고 어떤 것을 하시는지 항상 편안해 보이시고. Yes. Okay,
I'm sorry.
please go ahead.
Go ahead.
With what? I mean, I don't have any more to say about that.
Is that
Do you have any
it?
question?
Yeah, that's it.
Do they have questions?
이 모임을 이 주제를 신문 모시고 하려고 했던 거를 사실은 미국에 지금 우리 한국 불교가 굉장히 50년이 됐다니까. 스님이 한국 불교로 접한 시기하고 73년도에 사무스님이 72년도에 우선 스님이 바뀌었지만 그 두 번째로 가신 스님이 사무스님이라는 스님입니다. 그 스님을 통해서 해가지고 한국에 와서 지금 82년도에 국조스님을 만나고 원단스님 제대가 돼서 90년도에 돌아와가지고 미국에서 포교하기 시작한 32년 됐어요. 그 스님이. 그러면 당신이 느끼는 전 세계의 다른 불교 중에서 일본 불교도 접하고 중국 불교도 접하고 한국을 접했는데 한국 불교를 당신이 직접 전하고 있단 말이죠. 그러니까 그런 50년 한국 불교의 역사에 있어서 당신이 느끼는 한국 불교의 장점과 일단 진행하고 있는 부분들 느끼는 미국 포교의 내용에 그리고 향후 앞으로 본인이 느끼시기에 우리 한국 불교가 미국에 좀 더 확산되려면 퍼지려면 어떠한 준비를 해야 되는지를 듣고 싶어서 모신 거라. 너무 지금 심오하게 질문을 지금 3가지를 해버리니까 스님이 지금 있는데 이 부분으로다가 들어가지고.
Please just say that if they have any questions, please ask. Make it done.
계속했지. 미국에서 일본 내센터도 가보고 그러다 한국 불교를 접하고 느낀 거라는 말이에요. 그리고 지금 40년 가까이 지금 한국 불교를 직접 전해주고 있잖아. 그거에서 지금 어떤 것은 희망을 보셨고 어떤 것은 좀 어렵다. 앞으로 우리는 뭐를 준비하면은 한국 불교가 더 미국에 잘 전달이 될 수 있겠는가를 스님의 의견을 듣고 싶습니다. 이해했어요? 본인부터 이해를 해야 돼.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Holson Sinem is asking if anybody has a question or some clarification, then he's happy to share his with you. But
Yes, there is a question, and I am still observing the question to translate.
Okay. Yep. Can I say one thing about that?
Please.
Okay, so 1 second. So when I first met the Hwalsan Sunim, he was working here at the Zen Center. And then I found a Hwalsan Sunim here with 1 or 2, maybe 2 students. And then he said, if you want to study Zen, you can move into the Zen Center and you can join the community. And Hwalsan Sunim is saying that the people today at the who want to come to America to teach Zen in America, it's very important to live and work together with the students.
지금 남주신 말씀하시는 게 처음 이제 선언에 학생선생님 선언에 가셔서 학생들 제자들이 한두 명 있을 것 같은데 이 성공부를 하러 왔는데 스님이 하신 말씀이 같이 와서 살아라 그렇게 말씀하시고 지금 대답해 주신 게 미국에서 불교를 포교를 하고 싶으면 같이 함께 미국인들과 생활을 하셔야 된다고 했어요. 오케이, 스님.
Yeah, and usually in this country, the Buddhism is a kind of institution, like a religion, but Zen, Sun, is a little bit different. So in that case, if a monk from Korea comes to USA, they have a kind of two choices. One choice is the Buddhism as a kind of institution, like a religion, have a services like a chanting, bowing, and then in that case, many Korean people come. But second choice is as a Zen monk, just a very humble life, and invite the people to live together, and they in that way, Zen is a kind of apprenticeship, mentorship, and Paul Sansanim think that the mentorship, that apprenticeship style, is the most important thing in the Korean Sun teaching. Student and teacher, mind to mind.
이제 일반적으로 미국에서 불교를 받아들일 때는 종교 단체로서 받아들이는 거예요. 불교를 전파하기 위해서 미국에 오시는데 두 가지 보통 선택이 있다고 합니다. 첫 번째는 종교로서 일반적인 종교로서 해서 많은 한국인들이 오시고
연구하고 예불하고 종교를 불교라는 종교로 전파하는 풍성이 된다.
Texting you.
일상생활에서 같이 살고 같이 먹고 같이 멘토 같이 이렇게 같이 살면 이게 이제 미국 외국인들이
교수님.
And Paul Sansanim said that if a monk or a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni come to USA, the American people are very open mind. So actually they can really appreciate the style of the Zen monk. It's very attractive because Zen monk is humble and open. So in that case, the Zen monk mind is very attractive to the American people, not the Buddhism. American people don't, especially the young people, they don't really want the religion, but they want the mind, how to work with the mind.
미국으로 미국에서 오셔서 열린 마음으로 생각하고 겸손하고 그거 자체를 좋아하시고 불교를 종교로서 좋아하지 않고 이 마음 수행하는 것 자체로서 접하기 때문에 그게 너무 케이스님. 스님. Can you hear me?
Yes,
We cannot hear you at the moment.
I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
질문 드리면 물어보고 한두 가지 더 질문이 좀 있고.
So Paul Sansanim is wondering what are you thinking about, and how is the situation? Is it comfortable for you now? Everything's in yeah.
Very well.
어려워요.
Difficult.
difficult.
아까 내가 얘기했던 한국 불교가 지금 이제처럼 아까 우리 이제 보통 내가 알고 있기 때문에 한국 불교를 가르쳐 주러 가야 되겠다. 우리가 그 사람들이 기도해주고 불공을 다 서비스하겠다라고 하는데 그런 불교는 우리 한국 신자한테 통할지언정 그런 것들은 통하거나 앞으로 진행이 안 된다는 얘기죠. 그죠? 미국에 와서 불교를 하려면 대중과 같이 함께 하면서 공동체로서 잘 유지해온 삶을 사는 것. 그게 이제 뭐 백장 스님의 일일 부자임을 보시는 것처럼 그 사람들은 아침 저녁에 공부하고 낮에는 같이 일하는 것을 공동체로 이루어 살아가면서 가르치는 표현해 나가는 그런 형태의 부분을 이제 분석을 하고 얘기를 하잖아요. 한국 그걸 여기 우리 모임 우리가 좀 더 준비해야 되는 한국 불교 우리 모여 있는 현재 모습이 국제전법에 대한 고민을 하기 위해서 한국 스님들이 모였잖아요. 스님들한테 해주고 싶은 말, 당부하고 싶은 말, 좀
네.
우리 모여 있는 사람이 누군지도 좀 전달이 잘 안 된 것 같아요. 그래서 무슨 얘기를 어떻게 하고 뭘 듣고 싶어 하는지도 되지 않은 것 같습니다.
네. So, Snim, all the Snims here gathered today to contemplate and discuss about how to bring Buddhism, Korean Buddhism to the States, and if like what to prepare for that mission. So if you have anything to say about that, please say something about that, please. Yeah.
Okay. I will repeat that for Hwasan Sunim. 1 second. So
Okay.
they're saying that the monks have gathered here together today in order to discuss for this time workshop how to bring Korean Buddhism to the States, United States. And if there's any more thoughts you have on that.
This may sound strange to you, but I think that Korea got Zen from China. But what happened is that monks went to China and they came back and they made Buddhism and Zen for Koreans. Makes sense. So what you have to think about is that you have to come here and help us based on your training in Korean Zen to create American Zen. Zen that fits the American.
So Hwasan Sunim is saying that in Korea, Buddhism, Zen Buddhism came from China to Korea. And in that case, the Korean monk went to China and came back. And sometimes the Chinese monk came to Korea. And so what he's saying is that it's important that you should not be thinking about bringing Korean Buddhism to America, but if you come to America, you have to think about how to create American Buddhism.
Okay. 한국 불교가 옛날에 중국에서 건너왔듯이 한국 스님들이 중국으로 가서 불교를 가져오거나 아니면 중국 스님들이 한국으로 건너오거나 지금 한국 불교를 미국으로 가져오는 것보다는 어떻게 하면은 미국 불교를 만들어낼 수 있는지 그거를 고민하는 게 좋을 거라고 말씀하십니다.
So the monk like Sung San Sunim and just 1 second, and Samu Sunim, when they came to America, they created American Buddhism, not Korean Buddhism. But they were influenced deeply by Korean Buddhism. They are the Korean Buddhist. But in America, we don't need Korean Buddhism. We need American Buddhism.
네, 숭산 스님이 이제 미국을 건너가셨을 때 한국 불교가 아니고 이제 미국인들에게 맞는 불교를 전하셨듯이 지금 미국인들한테 필요한 건 한국 불교가 아니고 미국인들한테 맞는 미국 불교라고 하십니다.
I think Hwalsan Sinim told me I missed one thing, something. So I'm sorry. He's going to make a better. Please go ahead, Sinim.
When I'm talking about Zen, which was Chan in China, Sun in Korea, Zen in Japan, it doesn't belong to anyone. This is available for everyone, regardless of what culture they come from. They only have to have an interest in becoming free. And Zen is the best way of doing that in 2022.
미국 네.
수초들이
They like that.
이렇게 다 이해했음을 알려드린 걸로.
Yeah, we all understood. Thank you.
They understood what you said. That's really good.
Thank you.
I think this is a perfect example of the difficulty in creating American Buddhism. This technology situation is a perfect example of how challenging it is to bring Zen Buddhism to the West. Yeah.
기술적인 문제들이 있는 게 이제 그 한국 불교를 미국으로 가져가는 거 어려움을 같이 반영하는 것 같다고. 네,
So we have to be patient. Okay.
Can I talk?
Yes, Hwalsan Sinim said that, and now he wants to say another thing. Okay.
When I first came to Korea, what was completely different than what I had experienced growing up in the West, I describe it like this, that Korea is a culture of we. Unfortunately, America is a culture of I, my, me. This is a huge problem. And now it's combined with one of the three poisons. It's called greed. We're the greediest country in the world, America. So that's what you're faced with.
한국 문화는 이제 우리 문화인데 미국 문화는 개인주의고 아이가 있습니다. 근데 또 다른 문제가 욕심이 가장 많은 나라이기 때문에 이 문제점을 같이 해결했는. 네.
욕망이 극대화된 미국이라는 말에서.
네.
By the way, we can hear you very well now. Yes. Well, good. That's good. We can hear. Okay. He's done.
I'm done.
Are you done?
Oh, no, I'm not done. I'm just saying I'm ready for another question.
Okay, he said he's ready for another question.
Or something you want me to clarify.
Or something is not clear. He can.
네, 질문이나 뭐 어떻게 확인하시고 싶어요.
스님.
Yes, Junhan Sinim.
스님.
A little, mostly, yes.
Okay, so my question is if any one of us, this monk, nuns, go to Detroit and help you spread American Buddhism, are you gonna accept us?
Yes.
maybe everyone can come.
Thank you.
That's the main point. Today lecture, okay?
Jangam-san said that's the main point.
And when you have good students who want to go to Korea and learn Korean Buddhist, Korean Zen, and please send them to us.
He said if you have any students that want to go to Korea to learn, send them.
Of course, that's what Myungju Sunim did. That's what I did.
Yes.
Okay, see you next year. Okay.
Thank you very
Let me
much.
just say
Oh,
one thing. I want to apologize. One, not being able to speak Korean to you, and two, not coming to you, which I would have done, but I have a very important thing happening this next week, and I couldn't leave to come and see you. But if there is a next time, I'll come and see you in person.
Well, Paul Simpson is saying that he
What?
come next time. Yeah.
That's it. No more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sneem.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you next year, right? 명재 스님.
What? No, just,
I'm gonna turn off the Zoom.
okay.
Yeah.
Sleep well tonight.
오케이. 내년에 우리 한국에 오실 때 했으니까 그때
네.
기회 되는 대로 만나요.
가는 게 더 좋을 것 같아요. 가서 해보는 게. 네,
오케이. 자, 오늘 이제 다 끝났나요? 저기
네.
그럼 줌은 끝난 거고 유튜브는 되고 있어요?